Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Leading Off, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapio. With me today is the Welsh, as always. And, of course, it's you, the Peanuts, and the Cracker Jacks talking baseball. Julio Rodriguez is in the Derby, Welsh. I'm excited about that. We've got some more news and notes, some injuries to talk about. Shohei Ohtani is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and sliced bread is pretty cool. I watched the whole documentary about sliced bread, true story, on the History Channel because I'm a big, giant dork. But Welsh, you're a dork too, which is why I love you. And Julio in the home run derby. Are you excited now?
I am quite happy. Earlier in the week, I had actually expressed my desire for, I've always got, you always want to talk and everybody wants to talk about like some of the specific things on like all-star games. Isn't it fun? And let's talk about the team. And I'm like, how can we make it better? And, earlier in the week, one of my ideas was we go full money. We throw all the money in the world at these things, like $5 million to the winner to get it excited. Other would be,
now. I want to be in it.
Yeah, I mean, to get like some of the good young guys. And I was like, I would probably jump up and down. I'm not going to do it here. If Julio was in that contest, I think that would make it really exciting. And now you've got a dude that is, for me, this is interesting. A guy that is actually older than me that is in the home run derby, and a guy that theoretically could be my son based on age. So it's a cool
place to be in life.
Yeah, introspective place for it. I am jacked for Julio Rodriguez. But my question is, when and what are we doing with our home run contest for the home run derby?
I have it. I will share when everybody here. I know people are still joining the show. This is what happens. You start at noon, people start to join. They go to their lunch break.
Gotcha.
Kelly Kirby, our own Indeed Wonky Penguin, has again saved us, as she always does here on the program. God bless the Wonky Penguin. She basically has an idea that I was kicking around. She has, of course, expressed it better than I did.
Upgraded. Gotcha.
We're going to share it later. But, with the Julio to the Derby news, here's a question for you. I made a comment yesterday because I did the BP show yesterday with our own Tom Viola, or Viola, I should say, like Frank Viola. I don't know why I said Viola. But Tom and I were talking, and I made the point about, look, the Derby, because of the time element, it does favor the more athletic, good shape kind of dudes a little bit more, just a little bit.
Sure.
Julio certainly fits that bill, as does Juan Soto. I think Julio's got a shot here at this.
I really, really do as well. Super quick hands. You've seen it kind of on display. Also, if you think about just wearing down. Now, the only thing that could be interesting is I don't personally know if he's taken part in something like this. Now, like if you've ever been to a field before a game. Now, here's one thing that happens. And this is something I kind of miss because I haven't been around it as much obviously with COVID over the last couple of years. I did in the AFL is during batting practice, these guys will run these little mini home run contests. And I've seen lots of different guys. I remember Daniel Johnson, who used to be with the Guardians, ended up winning a home run contest in BP. But Julio hasn't done a lot of this stuff. The AFL 1 year did it. The Arizona Fall League did a home run contest, and then it got defunct. They're bringing it back for this coming year. So that's one thing to consider. There's athleticism and the ability to potentially not wear down, but there are some veterans in here like Pete Alonso and Juan Soto who've done this before and maybe know how to manage their time. So for the first time in forever, I am excited for the home run derby. I'm actually going to watch it.
Good. I'm glad you're frozen excited. Let's go to the headlines. Shohei Ohtani picks up 2-run triple. And struck out 12 guys. And by the way, him and Aaron Judge have swapped places for the MVP race.
Did he? Last night. So last night I was doing a whole bunch of looking at stuff, and I saw that, and this must have flipped because I was on Betting Pros. It's actually become one of my favorite things to do because it's the aggregate. If people are not going to bettingpros.com, you can just go and you can see the aggregate of all the sites. I saw that Judge was 105 and Ohtani was 115 minus, by the way, minus 105, minus 115, which for all intents and purposes is dead even.
They're the same.
I mean, you and I, 3 weeks ago, we're talking about Ohtani at 400. So,
and I got Ohtani at 5, where I told everybody, I was like, look, it might not get better than here, it might get, worse. It's certainly gotten worse. I have officially this morning taken my money out of Aaron Judge too. So I cashed out Aaron Judge.
You cashed it?
Yeah, and there's a part of me that's thinking right now, maybe I'm getting a little greedy, but Ohtani for Cy Young is at plus 850 right now. Just saying, what a story that would be.
Dude,
what a story that would be.
I just finished up and released my redraft ranks over at inthisleague.com finally today, but we did an episode on In This League of it was actually Fantasy Pros rest of season aggregate rank versus my rank. And Ohtani was one of probably like 5 guys that I found the most difficult, because there's always that part of you that's like, is there like a taper back situation they got to do, stretch out the rotation, but they don't have any depth to it. He's looking like the best pitcher in baseball and a top 10 hitter in baseball as well. So it is quite amazing. And if he hits this, I think I saw, I don't know who it was, Heyman or something, but if he wins a Cy Young, he assuredly has to win the MVP, right? It has to be a correlation if you're doing
Well, you remember beginning of the year, I think I was saying that wouldn't it be fun to get a bet where Shohei for both? And I was waiting for that, somebody to post that as a special. Hasn't posted yet. I feel like we're getting awful close to it.
I think next year you might see that. Like, I think some of the smaller gambling sites, that would be something that would have been really good. Like, just give some crazy good odds on both.
12-1 or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, preseason, I think you could probably create some better odds, like 15-1. I mean, to win both is an absurd thought. I mean, it's easy now, but
it's easy right now to see it coming. Look, McClanahan was great last night. We'll get to all of it. You know what else was good yesterday? John Gray, our guy from DFS yesterday, our cheap guy. Remember that? Well, he struck out 9 guys, 7 scoreless innings for John Gray. Terrific. Jose Iglesias. Yes, that Jose Iglesias hits a homer and drives in 6 runs. That's a stunning number for him. That's all the whole month total. Austin Hayes, one of my favorite dudes, racks up 4 hits on his own. 10 straight wins for the O's. 10 straight wins for the Mariners. They are on fire right now. Teoscar Hernandez homers twice to lead the Blue Jays with their new manager to a W. So that was very important there. Jesse Winker, he is back. And the Mariners, as I said, won their 10th game. Joe Adell's also back. Again,
amazing,
from AAA. So here we go again. So is this the Joe Adell run? Welsh.
I'm gonna put my hands up. I don't know where to put my hands. I don't know, man. Adell and Kelnick are far beyond, I think, any of our understanding anymore. My understanding, Adell is a freak athlete, but I had heard 2 years ago there was someone who had a contact with one of the coaches in the organization. Don't want to tell all the people, but this coach was like, this kid cannot hit anything over 93 because of the cheating on breaking pitches. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And sure enough, that's what you've seen. In the lower levels, a lot less breaking pitches and can just sit on the fastball. And that adjustment has been so bad for him and so crazy for him. And you would think, and this might be this may just take this away that we ever think this happens, but nothing rubbed off on him. No Ohtani and Trout with this kid every single day.
That's true.
And nothing rubbed off. Nothing seemed to catch on. So, cross your fingers. We see plenty of these guys that we get frustrated with. You were talking Taylor Ward yesterday. These guys that just pick it up and find it at 27. I'm thinking that's going to kind of be the case. I hope so. So he's not the next Monty Harrison.
Well, here's a question for you. Who is a more tortured soul, multi-Grammy winning artist Adele, or those people who have rostered Joe Adell in their fantasy leagues this year?
Ooh, that might be a song. That sounds like a country song, by the way. Maybe we could write it.
I don't know. I mean, Adele has been pretty, but she seems to be happy now in life. She's like, I feel like she's just moved in with some guy or something like that. So I'm thinking that it's the people who've rostered Joe Adell who are actually more tortured this year.
Yeah, I think so. And she lost a bunch of weight. She seems to be happy.
Great. I think she had a kid too. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, Francisco Lindor had a 3-run homer yesterday as the Mets beat the Braves 7-3. They beat up on Charlie Morton, so that's important. Also, it's important to the injuries. Frankie Montas' shoulder will not start this weekend. Oh, what a surprise. So everybody thought he was going to start. They're pushing it back. They're giving it a little bit more time. Oh, baby. This is
I got to tell you, I'm going to preemptively tell you, I hate this injury list that you have here. I'm just staring at it. I hate it.
Okay, let's keep going. Eloy Jimenez day to day with right leg. I am losing my patience with Eloy.
I am too.
Time patience.
I actually am too.
Exits with the tight shoulder. MRI upcoming. Stay tuned. Yankee
Not
fans,
good.
this is a problem. This is a big problem. This was my thing. It's like, look, Nestor Cortez can't be this great forever. What happens if Severino breaks down? It's a big start today for Nestor Cortez. I feel like today, Luis Castillo, the Yankees should just say, why don't you just stay to Luis Castillo? Like, you're here, just get a hotel, just stay. Don't go back on the team playing with the Reds. Let's figure this out. Just wait. This is the audition here for Luis Castillo. Aaron Savali left his start due to a sore wrist. Brian Reynolds with the oblique has yet to resume the baseball activities. Those obliques take a long time. Good news, x-rays were negative on Trevor Story's hand. That's the only bit of good news. But the Severino one, this is a big one, Welsh. I'd be very concerned if I were the Yankees.
That was another one of those. I went pretty hard aggressive on just how awesome Severino was playing, and looked like it was like OG Severino. And then sure enough, right as I was finishing up those rest of season, at least this month's rest of season redraft stuff, that injury makes me go into a spiral. When I see like a shoulder injury like that for a guy like this who has had some injury problems, I go into a spiral of how do you rank and evaluate him the rest of the season, because this is the type of thing that can take him down. I don't want a tight shoulder. So even if it comes back really good, okay, that's positive. I don't even know if we are at a point in this season where you could let him come back, pitch a little bit, and still have time to trade him and get good value and make people forget about this injury. If you could, I might try to do that, but I'm very worried.
Yeah, I'd be worried too. It looks like John Heyman should be worried, one of our favorite mascots of the show. So Ozzie Guillen challenged John Heyman to a fight. You know, I thought the Adrian Peterson-Le'Veon Bell boxing match was going to be something that has my attention, but no. It's Ozzie Guillen versus John Heyman. Here's the tweet from Ozzie Guillen. My wife will be mad, but tired of this liar talking about me. You're jealous. You're a jealous man. And he spelled you are incorrectly. It's your.
Yeah,
but anyway,
we know what
English is a second language, so I give you credit,
exactly.
because I can't speak Spanish this well or write it this well. You're a jealous man that with me, with S English, do your job too. All you do is lie about stories. I get paid to talk baseball just like you. I said I love Tony, but I gave my opinion, and he know how I feel. You always hate.
I will say Ozzie Guillen sounds like me when I text fast. Like, I think we're about the same. I think he's about the same thing. Like, if you've ever received a text from me, you've definitely received a text where I'm like, I'd be on soon. Call me, talk later, and then I'll spell later wrong, and then I'll correct it with a star. So that's definitely that I can relate with him. I feel for Ozzie.
Yeah. So anyway, this is just too funny. Also, something to take into account when you're making wagers is this weekend. You know, 2/3 of the Royals are going to travel to Toronto. 10, including Andrew Benintendi, will not be traveling with the team. Whit Merrifield, who's hurt anyway. Hunter Dozier, MJ Melendez, Michael Taylor, Brad Keller, Brady Singer is a bunch. It's a big chunk. So all in on Gossman tonight. And on a secondary note, also none of those guys who also opted out or not playing in Canada, also no reports of measles, mumps, or rubella or any other things that they've all been vaccinated for. Just want to put that out.
I will point out with that two things that are interesting. The books are completely away from it. They're not doing anything. There's no, like, I was immediately looking, I'm like, what's the total base marker on Vladimir Guerrero today? I want to take a look. Haven't seen it. I haven't gone in. I was just on the aggregate. And the thing I'm dying for is the list of guys that's taking over. And I haven't seen that, because the one I'm speculating on, the sheer amount of these, there's 5 outfielders. This team is not rostering 5 outfielders, 2 catchers.
Hey, grab a glove. You might be able to play for the Royals.
I might. Me and cousin Donnie, he was doing the softball team. We're going to get out there.
Who, by the way, is starting a podcast. I don't know if you know this.
No, he's not.
Yeah. First of all, his kids are going to be over my house the next 2 days.
Is it going to be the cousin Donnie?
I don't know, man, but he bought a microphone yesterday on Amazon Prime. He's been talking about this for a year. So look out, because that's show's coming.
But the thing I wanted to add, we got to help him produce that. That's going to be an amazing podcast. But Nick Prado, that would be the guy I would be looking at in that organization. 5 outfielders, which he can play. I mean, he's more of a first baseman, and just a sheer amount of guys. I have to imagine that Prado, who is on the 40-man, this will be his major league debut shot. I haven't heard anything about it. I'm kind of interested in that if it does go down, because I'm a Nick Prado guy, and Vinny Pasquantino. There's not Donnie. Vinny Pasquantino got the run on it, but look for Nick Prado if he gets a little bit of run this weekend.
Yes, that is his real name, for those of you wondering. He is now jumping into the podcast game. He saw me do it. He's like, if that moron can do it, I can certainly do it better. And he's probably right.
That's my entire life of doing in this league and anytime podcasts. So people see me do it, and they're like, well, I could do that.
Oh, all right. Good times. All right, let's get to some fun facts. And of course, fun facts always means Shohei Ohtani. at least, a couple times a week. Shohei Ohtani in his last 4 starts, 45 strikeouts, 1 earned run. The only pitchers in Major League Baseball history to have a 4-start span with 45 plus strikeouts and 1 total earned run: Randy Johnson, Clayton Kershaw, Chris Sale, Jacob deGrom. That's it.
Wow.
That's the entire list right there. And another fun one here. This is for Shane McClanahan. Shane McClanahan has allowed 21 earned runs in 18 starts and struck out 147 batters. The only guys to do that in Major League Baseball history is just one. Actually 2. Luis Tiant in 1968 and Pedro Martinez in the year 2000. So Shane McClanahan, that's the problem, is like, I want to go in right now because Ohtani's at 8.5. But you still got McClanahan and Verlander. And all I'm waiting for is that one blister or that one thing with one of those guys. And all of a sudden the Ohtani number just drops off. I think it could be.
That's an interesting speculative move. That really.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. I was like, if I'm in on Verlander, and I'm going to make on probably about $100 worth of bets over $1,000 if Verlander wins a Cy Young. I'm just being completely transparent. I actually did the math the other day. Right. So I've done all my wagers. I have them all locked in. That's it on Verlander. So I'm looking for my hedge, and I keep looking at it. I can still get 2-1 on McClanahan, or I can get 8.5 with Ohtani. I kind of want to hedge with Ohtani, and I know I'm being greedy, but
Ohtani's a cool one. I like Wonky just put down there, which I agree with. Unless they shut McClanahan down, I think he is the biggest.
It's not out of the realm, but they're in the playoff race. I don't know.
I don't know what the numbers look like. Like, this is one of those bets. When you look at like these big ones, the play sometimes could be take your 3 favorites with good odds, place the same amount of money on them, lower the overall odd if one hits, but you've pushed them up simply because you've got 3 great ones. This is probably a point. I'm not looking. I have absolutely no idea. I would imagine McClanahan is like plus 150. And then you're going to have Verlander at like 250. And if Ohtani's at 8-1, that's.
Well, look, I just think Verlander is going to get more than 20 wins this year, or 20. And if he does, look, I'm telling you, the general baseball voting public still does not care as much about Shane McClanahan's legacy as they care about Justin Verlander. Justin Verlander is an easy vote for those people who vote. I'm telling you right now, it is. And it's going to piss a lot of people off because people are going to say McClanahan's worthy. But I'm telling you right now, I still think it's Verlander's to lose. No matter
we do see stupid stuff like that where when it's close, the writers will go to the guy with the history. It's almost like because
the writers are still a bunch of older people who still typically just watch the one team.
It's kind of like
watch Shane McClanahan starts. I'm telling you right now,
it's kind of like the umpires with not giving young guys calls, and they're giving veteran calls and stuff like that. And then they'll do the makeup. They'll do the makeup. It's like next year, writers will give the makeup to McClanahan when he's not quite as good or whatever. I see what you're saying here. I still like McClanahan, but it's a muddy situation where some of these others are not so much.
All right. Also, here's another fun fact. We had a lot of fun facts today. 42% of this year's All-Star selections were internationally born. Now, I'm not internationally known, but I am known to rock a microphone. And this is a fun stat. Baseball is a global game. And I thought that was pretty cool. This day in baseball yesterday was Pedro Martinez. How about today? In 1995, Ramon Martinez. Let's not forget about Ramon. Talk about living in your brother's shadow. Yeah. You're the big brother and there's little brother. Ramon was the older one, threw his first no-hitter on the first of the season against the Los Angeles Dodgers, beat the then Florida Marlins 7-0. He actually had a perfect game through 7 in this one. So there you go, a little Ramon love.
Didn't Pedro threw a no-hitter, right?
Yes.
I was about to say that a stat would be the only brother duo to throw a no-hitter. Would have to be them, right?
Could Pedro threw one? Could be the Negro.
Are we sure Pedro threw a no-hitter?
I don't know. It's a good question. I just assumed he had.
I did too. I as soon as I saw this, I was like, "Oh, brothers did this." But now I'm thinking, I don't know if Pedro.
I'm trying to think of other brothers that pitched.
That's why I think that
the Negros. What about Pascual and Melito Perez? Is that a duo?
I don't
feel like one of them actually threw a no-hitter.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. Let's figure that out here. In the meantime, here's a little trivia for you to think about and chew on while we give you the stat heroes and zeros from last night's games. Dansby Swanson, #1 pick overall, made his first All-Star team this year. He was #1 pick overall in 2015. Who's the last #1 overall pick before Swanson to be named to the All-Star team? So
I guess
you know the answer. You can guess. Go ahead.
Carlos Correa.
That is correct. It is Carlos Correa. So there you go. Welsh.
Sorry, I ruined it. I ruined it.
Way to
My
take the
apologies.
sales out of the trivia for everybody.
You should have told me no. I felt really confident about this one. That's my fault. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm just,
too smart for your own good.
Kind of on fire on these with Alfonso.
Some pretty crappy. By the way, I mean, Royce Lewis in 2017, still work in progress. Yeah. In 2016, I keep coming back to Mickey Moniak, and I remember that year screaming on every bit of content I was on. How in the world can you have thousands of prospects and you guys all collectively land that Mickey Moniak in Philadelphia is the best one to pick? I couldn't believe it at the time. I screamed and yelled about it then. I'm still screaming about it. They kept talking about him like he was Mickey Mantle just because Mickey Mantle was his favorite player. Like, I don't care. He is. Are you kidding me?
But also,
he's under 200 at the major league level. God.
It's one of the things I hate the most. And watch out for this weekend, dude. Watch out for this weekend when the draft is going on, is these teams that buy they're essentially buying these prospects at cheaper prices. Mickey Moniak was taken because they were able to get a discount. I don't remember the full draft. So dumb, what happened?
Do you want a discount or do you want a player that's going to be in your organization for a decade?
But see, these teams think what they're going to do is they're going to, save $1 million at the top, and then they're going to use that later to convince a player or overpay slot. Listen, you don't do that with the first overall pick or your first round pick. In my eyes, you don't go in, maybe if you have like the 12th pick or something and you want to save some money. Okay. You got like a top 5 pick. I'm not saving money for later in the draft. I'm taking the best players. The amount of times we've seen this happen.
The one pick. It's amazing how often the one pick is not the best player.
And the number one team that does it has the number one pick this weekend. And the Orioles, they continuously do it. They did it last year, taking Kowser. They took Heston Kjerstad the year before. And there are rumors.
He was wasn't he? The
Rutschman was one of the few. I don't remember if he was one over. Yeah, I think he was one overall.
He was. I'm looking at it right now.
We're sitting at it again. We're sitting in a situation where there are a lot of rumors out there. Drew Jones is the theoretical consensus number one overall pick, but there are rumors abound that there's about 4 or 5 other directions they could go because there are so many. Here's the key. Not that everybody cares. There are so many injured high school and college pitchers out there that are dealing with Tommy John issues and stuff that they can go and spend big money in the compensatory round on some of these guys that are first round talent that are slipping. So it's messy, it's dirty, it's gross, hate it, and just be on the lookout for it.
Yeah, Brady Aiken in 2014, Mark Appel in 2013, Correa in 2012, Garrett Cole, Bryce Harper. There was a good run there. Steven Strasburg for a little while. Tim Beckham in 2008, David Price in 2007, Luke Hochevar in 2006, another thoracic outlet syndrome guy, and Tommy John. Justin Upton in 05, Matt Bush in 04, Delman Young in 03, Brian Bullington in 2002, Joe Mauer in 2001, and Adrian Gonzalez in 2000. So
Matt Bush was another one of those to just overpay or underpay at that first overall slot, save a bunch of money, and that did not go well.
The track record's really working out for cheaping out on the number one pick, Mickey Moniak.
Well, Correa was actually one of those, just to point out. That was the same year, I think, Buxton and Buxton and someone else, and they passed, and Carlos Correa, I think, was the number one overall pick to save money. That's probably the last one I remember.
Yeah, but Carlos Correa looked like a franchise player. Like Carlos Correa, I saw Carlos Correa play as a high schooler, and I was like, yep, like that.
Well, he was compared to A-Rod, but he was not. But he was one of those guys that didn't belong in the number one overall conversation. But he did work out. He did.
John Gray was the number 2 overall pick. He's worked out 9 Ks, 7 innings, stat hero. Ross Stripling 6 Ks, 7 scoreless. Shohei Ohtani 12 Ks, 1 earned and 6, and Shane McClanahan 6 Ks, 6 innings, 1 earned. Teoscar Hernandez had his 2 bombs. Jose Iglesias had a huge night. Jose Miranda 3 for 5 with a homer. Cronenworth 2 for 3 with a homer. Juan Soto 1 for 2 with a homer. Eddie Rosario with a homer, 3 for 4. Freddie Freeman 3 for 3. Stuart Fairchild 2 for 3 with a homer. Brandon Belt 2 for 4 with a dong, and Sam Hilliard 3 for 5. The losers, Zach Wheeler, 6 earned runs and 4 2/3. Not good. Charlie Morton, 5 earned and 5. Same with Josiah Gray. Tony Gonsolin, Welsh, 5 earned runs, 5 innings pitched.
I put it on the article. I think I put it on the article a couple weeks ago, but I mean, it's bound to happen. We can't victory lap any of the regression yet. It's one start.
But... Oh, I can. My back is going to be hurt from all the victory laps. My legs are tired. Paul Blackburn also bad. So there you go. Mike Mayer got his way. And look, of course that was going to come back down to earth, but look, this is why you sell high on guys. We talked about it.
Sure.
Martin Perez. And look, nobody wants to sell high on Tony Gonsolin. Here we go. Let's go. Eugenio Suarez, 1 for 7, 5 Ks. Byron Buxton, 0 for 5 with 4. Golden Sombrero, hat trick for Judge, 0 for 4 with 3. Nolan Gorman, 0 for 4 with 3. Jeremy Pena 0 for 4 with 3, and Kyle Schwarber 0 for 4 with 3.
Mm.
15 people called Giancarlo Stanton correct yesterday in the home run contest, so
Me
that
too.
has us moving. So take a look at the board. High Cubbies up to 35 now. Night King of the North down to 27. Actively Lazy at 26. That's a new one on the board. I like Actively Lazy. Terry's got 28. Title Chaser's got 30. Larry C's got 30. Some guy named Mike Mayer's got 30, and DeBlum's still at 32. So there you have it. That's what's going on.
My home run win yesterday was like throwing what is it? The deck chair off the Queen Mary. You're off the Titanic at this point. Like, it ain't doing a whole lot for me. Like, yay, I got Stanton, but I am a far distance away.
To answer the previous question, by the way, Pedro had a 9-inning no-hitter, and then the game went to extra innings, and he got pulled. So
he never had a technical
no-hitter. No.
Well, okay, so we have no brothers. So there's a stat for you. We have no brothers in history to throw no-hitters.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. I can't think of off the top of my head.
I don't really either.
No Outlighter and his brother Mark.
Do we have any okay, let's move it to family. Do we have any like father-son duo? I'm trying to even think of like the father-son starting pitcher duos that even exist out there. We obviously have the hitters. They have a plethora of hitters, but I can't really think of even like I was thinking like Tom Gordon's kids both were position players. I don't know of any really crazy amount of father-son duos that are doing that. So
yeah. All right. Let's move on to some betting pros with BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Bet $10 to win $200, regardless of the outcome. Sign up today and download the BetMGM app, or go to betmgm.com. Enter the promo code leading off. Again, that's leading off, one word. Bet 10 to win 200. Bet it all on Shohei Ohtani for MVP, and you'll make some money there.
That crown looks extra big today. I don't know if I don't pay attention. I go to my sheet.
See, the interior is starting to come apart.
Oh, your head is pushing it? Okay.
Because I'm always so forceful. It's now pushed it up.
Yeah, I don't
I'm going to take $10 and buy a new crown for next season.
I think it's a good investment. I usually go over to the sheet so I can start looking at mine when you do that. So I got a real good glance on that. I was like, it looks extra, extra big on you.
Why, thank you. Losing weight in my melon. Dizzy and Daffy Dean? I don't know. Like, somebody go research this. You're just sitting there watching. Use the
Those
Google
sound like
machine.
cartoon characters. Okay.
They were. All right. Here are your guys for tonight. Blake Snell on FanDuel, 5.5 is the K prop. Let's go over on the -108. That's a good number. +110 on Kyle Wright's 4.5 strikeouts on FanDuel as well. That's a gimme, I feel like, against the Nats. Luis Castillo against the Yankees offense, struggling a little bit, maybe just a little. I mean, they won on a wild pitch last night.
Reds have been playing them strong. Reds have been playing the Yankees.
They really have.
Yeah.
They gave that one away last night. 5.5 is the number at -148. And Altuve, 1.5 total bases. That's over on DK +105. Jose Ramirez at the Sugar House. Total bases 1.5. That's even money as well. Welsh, what do you got from the props today?
I got to tell you, I love, and I didn't put it on here because you did it. I love the Jose Ramirez one. One of my favorites of the day.
Even money
at 1.5. Even money. Yeah, when if you're gonna play those, if you're gonna play those total base, give me even money or plus.
Here you go. Update: Dizzy and Daffy Dean did throw no hitters. The Dean brothers. There you go.
Sure, Dizzy and Daffy. That's fantastic. Mickey Mouse threw a perfect game. Jose Ramirez, my favorite. This one, I know it feels weird, but I'm really in on it. Nestor Cortez, 5.5 strikeouts. He's hit this in 2 of the last 3. Reds are 26 in baseball in strikeouts. And something I was taking a look at, that June really slumped him. Now, I guess we don't have enough of a sample size to know if July has turned it, but it's much more reminiscent of his May. He was striking out 8.6, or that's the Reds, 8.6 strikeouts per game. Over the last 3, they've been striking out 10.6. But I was looking, K per 9 on Nestor Cortez was sitting in the low 8s in June, mid 9s in May. We're back to mid 9s in July. So strikeout numbers seem to be coming back. I like this one, trying to, just target the Reds and pinpoint them. So I like the Nestor Cortez one. And then a goofy one, Carlos Santana, who's been on a real good hot streak since he's joined the Mariners, got an almost 370 average career-wise versus Martin Perez. So total base 1.5 over. And I believe this is like solid plus money. I don't remember what it was, maybe 115. So Carlos Santana, Nestor Cortez, Jose Ramirez, those are my 3 I really like.
Here's the DFS stuff for tonight, boys and girls. Get ready. This is going to be the easiest night of DFS of your life on DK. Okay. 8.6K, Kevin Gossman against whoever's left of the Royals. Just lock it up. They just fired the manager. All the bats woke up last night.
You don't think it's going to be chalk, though?
I don't care.
Crazy chalk?
I don't care.
Okay.
Don't care. Again, it's better to be right then different. Like,
Yeah.
I think it might be so chalk people are going to get off it. They're gonna talk themselves out of it for the same reason. They're like, oh, it's going to be too chalk. Good. Chalk is good. Excellent. Especially the green chalk. It looks like money.
Writes on boards. Yeah.
But you got to get the second pitcher right. Framber Valdez, 9.7 against the Halos. Why not? Or you could go with Kyle Wright, 8.5, save a lot of money. Or you can dip into the multiple outcome game of Carlos Rodon versus Burns tonight, which is going to be tricky. Carlos Rodon much cheaper at 9.3. I think that's the route I would go with Gossman. I think that's your key to unlocking the chalk a little bit, but you got to have Gossman tonight. Best Gossman lineup wins at the end of the day. Over on FanDuel, you got to pay 10.1 for Gossman. That's fine by me. Everybody else is super expensive. Wright is more money. Valdez is more money. Rodon's more money. Burns is more money. Go stack the Mets, go stack the Astros, and go get Kevin Gossman. Lineup builders, Nolan Jones at 2K, free square on DK. Mark Hanna at 3.3, Elenis Diaz at 3.2, Diaz on FanDuel 2.2, very free. Mark Hanna 2.7, Stephen Kwan, the Kwan at 2.5. Tonight I'm going with my home run, going Marcus Semien tonight against the, again, things have got to turn for the Mariners eventually. So give me Marcus Semien tonight to get things off on the right foot. How about you, Welsh? Where are you going tonight?
I'm going to pick on Elvin Rodriguez's 11 ERA. Go with my total base guy. I'm going to go with Jose Ramirez. Try to make it 2 in a row, please.
There you go. 2 in a row. What's Mayor got today? He's got Matt Carpenter. So there you go. Matt Carpenter.
Okay. There you go.
Sure, Mayor. Sure thing there.
Sure.
Also, one other note too, Jake Odorizzi came back, had a good start. I think he's going to stick in that rotation. And I'm starting to get the feeling that Christian Javier after last night might be back bullpen bound, which is really going to upset me. But I think it's the best move for the team. Do you think that's going to happen here after the break? Because it's starting to feel like that might be the case.
I think
you want to sell high on Javier.
I think that, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a sell high on Javier for sure. You know, the only thing though is I wonder if that team would benefit from pushing that 6-man rotation with everything you talked about with Verlander and stuff like that, like shorten stints a little bit, get all of them out there. I just wonder.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they have to do it. But again, an injury at any given time changes the dynamic. A lot of things, a lot of baseball things to watch today. The Yankees Reds are important. I want to see what Gossman does tonight. Great prime time, late night game here with Corbin Burns and Rodon head to head. It's a good night for baseball. And it's a good night for us here. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again tomorrow to do it all again. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.